Start again. Sorry about that.
Question. So we're at an event where it's people going mobile. They're in mobile homes, tiny houses. Usually you want compact. What's what's that speak for the future of home biogas, and how does that work?
So there is a limitation. The microbes, of course, are nano. They're super, super, super tiny. They're microscopic. So you can build a biodigester as we do. We teach school kids to do it out of a 5-gallon water jug, and it'll work. You can build one out of a pickle barrel. You can build it out of that garbage can out of there. You can build a biodigester any size. You can build one out of a test tube. The microbes are microscopic. The question is, how much useful gas and fertilizer would you get, and how much food can you feed them? It turns out that, like in the story of Noah's Ark, it takes a digester about 40 days and 40 nights to completely digest the food into that. A size like this can accommodate one bucket of food, that is to say, 1/40th the size of the digester, because it's going to take 40 days and 40 nights for it to digest. So when I put one bucket, which is about 5 gallons, into this, which is about 40 times that, it's about 200 gallons, what's going to happen is the first day when I put it in, it's going to make its way across and be digested. 40 days later, it's going to come out as liquid fertilizer. Now, the next day I put a 5-gallon bucket, it chases the other one across. The next day, after 40 days, this has gone through. The entire volume of this has been fed with food waste, and all the microbes are happy. But it can't take more than that because it'll get indigestion. Because those microbes need that time. Now, you accelerate the time by grinding it up. You might be able to make it in half, 20 days. So now maybe you can feed 10-gallon bucket into this. If you reduce the size, you reduce the amount you can feed. So if I make a biodigester half this size to put it in my tiny home, inside, I can only feed it a half a bucket a day. If I have a quarter of the size, and that's a weight issue. This guy weighs about 1,200 pounds to 1,400 pounds. With sandbag weights on it. Now, can a 2-axle vehicle like a trailer hold that? Yes, and in fact at Florida Gulf Coast University in Fort Myers, we put one of these in a trailer, covered the top with solar panels, the sides with solar panels, inverter, batteries. The toilet is in the trailer behind the screen. This is in the trailer. There's a window to open the trailer and drop the food waste in, and we're going to tow it around. It's heavy, but we can tow it. Not at highway speeds, but we can tow it. So if you have a tiny home that can pull a trailer like that, it's like a typical that size trailer.
Sure.
If you have a tiny home that can pull that trailer, absolutely, this can be pulled behind it. Do you want to be on the highway every day with it? No, sloshing water around. Yes, are there plans to make them smaller? The hotter they are, the smaller they can be. So there are work to make reduced size digesters and push them up to thermophilic temperatures, which is the hot microbes. The problem is they're really finicky, so if the temperature drops, they don't do so well. These take mesophilic, which is the kind that we have in our guts, that are found in horse manure. They will tolerate down to about 55, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way up to 105, 106 Fahrenheit. The ones that take hot are from 105 up. But who can keep water that hot? So they have special coils they put in to keep the heat. They can radically reduce the size, but it is a cost associated with it.
Sure.
There's other microbes we've used that are psychrophilic. They live in the Arctic. They will work at low temperatures, but they're really slow. So you're going to not get, so they're not practical. This turns out to be the most practical size, and anything bigger is gravy. But you don't really want to go much smaller than this. The other thing is, if it's smaller, you can overfeed it too easily. It'll go acid, it gets indigestion, and then it stops working. And you got to wait for the microbes to bounce back. Put some Tums, put some baking soda in. So this size is just perfect for a family and up. What I think is there's a guy in Argentina who apparently has one of these on a trailer that he hooks up when he moves, and then he settles it down, keeps it on the trailer, but he doesn't drive with it every day. Does that help to answer it?
That makes a lot of sense. It mimics the digestive system.
Yeah.
And you need to do it at a certain size, especially to be able to produce them with how much it's ingested.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
So there is research going on, and we're part of it, to put inside these more invaginations, because your stomach has all these villi. The more surface area there is, the more microbes can live on it, hence the more food it can digest, hence the smaller it can be. So this is just basically empty inside here.
So it's one huge bladder.
It's one huge bladder. But if you put in, like the Chinese have bigger digesters, and they hang like those brushes, the cleaning brushes that you use for test tubes, that sort of fibrous, they hang those in mats down through, so the microbes can live up and down, and it Is it worth manufacturing it with that? Not really. What some people will do, and we've done it, is they'll dump down here those bio blocks they sell for aquarium filters, those little plastic blocks with a lot of surface area, and that will help. Put too many in, that it reduces your volumes, there's like these compromises. But what really is good about it is the more you live with your domestic dragon, the more it adapts to you. So when you start putting food waste down here, there's fiber that you're eating hopefully. And the fiber stays in, and just like it improves your digestion, it improves the digestion of this, because microbes live on the fiber. That's why fiber is so good. So you got orange peels, you got pecan shells, you got whatever you ground up, pistachio shells. Also, it adapts to your climate. So the microbes, you have to remember, are evolving. And they reproduce every 20 minutes, every day. So if you're feeding it your particular diet and you have your particular weather conditions, expect that in a few years, your domestic pet dragon is going to evolve with you. It's like, oh, he likes to eat this. Because they're changing all the time because they want to survive. So we don't know what the future holds. Coevolution of human beings and microbes in symbiosis is a new sort of thought for contemporary people. Ancient people always.
So like in your case, your microbes are really accustomed to the spicy Thai food.
Exactly.
Right?
And they come from me. I mean, they come from my toilet waste, my baby's diaper waste, my wife. They're a hybrid of our histories, our genetics. They were in us, they evolved in us, and they've been with us, so they're like friends. So like my dragon may be different from yours. And you know they're doing fecal transplant now to make people healthy. So if you got a healthy gut microbiome, you give it to a friend who's bad as celiac disease, it helps them.
It evolves. Is that what happens?
So you want to get a healthy person's microbiome inside yourself. So we like to invite friends over and go, oh, give us some of your digestate that comes out the back end of it. We'll put it in ours, and here's some of ours. And now you're increasing the biodiversity. And this is not just, by the way, one type of microbe. There's 4. If you don't mind, unless you don't want all science.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's 4. So the first kind are called hydrolytic, and they use water to break bonds, hydrolytic, and they start making smaller molecules. Then they hand off what they produce to the acidogenic, which make acid, which is the smell and feel you have from vomit. When you get heartburn, that's that acid, digestive acid. Those acids really stink. But then there's another group called acetogenic that take the acids, butyric acid, propionic acid, carbonic acid, all these acids, and they break it down into acetate or acetic acid, which is vinegar, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen. They hand that over to the methanogens at the end of the chain. They're a different kingdom, the Archaea, the oldest kingdom on Earth. They're the first life forms. They live in us and live underground. They break that down into methane and carbon dioxide. So it's a stage of...
It's really going through 4 stages,
But not stage by stage. It's like a dance. There's like handing to different partners, and they're breaking stuff down. But the methanogens are at the end of each process in that dance, and they're weak and they hate oxygen, and they can't stand too much acid. They eat carbon dioxide and acetate, but if they encounter like a propionic acid molecule, they'll be like, I'm burned, I'm dead. So you feed it at a rate that's good for them. The more of them you can get to grow, the faster you can feed it, the smaller you can make the system. And we believe that there's going to come a point when we've pushed the limits, like many companies are doing. We will take one, because I have 10 systems. We'll take one system and throw acid at it and let it evolve. Take another one and heat it up, kill them all off, and see what evolves. You know, like at hospitals have bugs that are evolving from our antibiotics. If you keep feeding these stuff that kill them, eventually they're going to evolve the ability to digest it. That's the beauty. Like human beings working in tandem with microbes can evolve a better world. You say, oh, I've got toxic waste. Oh, hey, can you handle toxic waste? Yeah, you've been training me for years. I mean, they're microbes.
So how long can the system go without you feeding it again?
The longest I've gone is 6 months because I use my system. I had one in Germany for 7 years, and every winter it would freeze into a block of ice, and I would leave, and I'd come back and let it thaw in the spring, and I'd be okay, start it up, feeding it a little bit, it would come back to life, and it would work. Never had to inoculate. Then I got smart, and I put a pipe for bath water and shower water to go inside so that my heated bath water kept it warm, and another one I put in a greenhouse. Now the greenhouse is heating it, and then it worked in the winter. But they can go, I believe you can probably see many years pass, because microbes have this tendency to spore, even when they desiccate. This is always wet. So I don't think they're going to die. I think they're going to hibernate. But I don't have data to support that.
Sure, but once you feed it again, it comes back to life. Yeah. As long as all the other conditions are
Exactly.
temperature and everything. Wow.
That's great.
Thank you very much. What's your name?
Sixto.
Sixto.
Margie.
Sixto and
Margie.
Margie, and I'm TH.
Nice to meet you.
Very
Thank
good to
you.
meet you. Yeah, I look forward to seeing more of this then.
Cool.
I'll check it out.